Hi everyone, Adam with it.So. Today we have a 2010 Toyota Tacoma. We're taking a look at the pop and lock tailgate lock. This is going to be a great addition to our Tacoma here because it came with a backup camera but no locking cylinder, and it wasn't powered by our powered locks. This way we can lock and unlock at will, making for really easy access. So this is going to allow you to utilize your backup camera that came with the truck, but also gives you a key lock that is going to be key to like with your ignition key for your truck. It isn't the hardest install in the world, so hopefully we can help you out so you can do it at your house by yourself. So let's just go ahead and get to it. So what we're going to do, we are going to start with the 15 screws on the inside of our tailgate, and it's going to take a T30 Torx bit. So once we get those undone, we don't have to take this farther section of plastics off. We just need to get to the main part of our tailgate. So all we really need to do, lift this up a little bit, and it should slide right out. Just like that. So we're going to get these rods clear. All we really need to do is kind of push on this little tab. It's going to snap out, and then we can pull this out. We're going to do the same for the other one as well. So now we're going to take these two 10mm bolts out to get this backup camera free and out of the way. We can set that to the side for later. So now we can go ahead and take these other two 10mm bolts out and take that whole housing with it. Now what we're going to do is get this rod loose. So this one right here, it is clamping on it like this. So we're going to push this rod that way to get it undone. Just like so. And then there's another one underneath this piece of metal here, and it's going to be exactly like our clips here. So we're just going to have to rotate it out, and then it should come off pretty easy. To get some leverage. There we go. What we're going to do is actually, we're going to take it. It was like this, but we're going to flip it like this and reinstall. So as you can see, the bend right here, and you want this facing down. So we're going to go in there, face it down like so, and then get this clip and go back over it. Like that. Just a note, in this orientation, it's not going to fit into this clip, so you can just leave it here for later. So we are going to have to take a part from our original tailgate lock. So it's going to be this little rubber piece on the outside. So what you want to do is take a little screwdriver, just kind of go through there and pop it off those little spots here. Get her going. So now we can put this on our new lock. It's only going to have about 3 different points where it's going to clip in. One there, and 2 on the right side. So a couple tips that I'm going to give you guys. I think I'm going to unclip this rod just so it's more so out of the way when I'm putting our new lock in. And also what I did with our original one, when I took the bolts out, I put them exactly back in the threads that they were originally. So each bolt is going to find its home back where it was once we put the new lock in. So now we're going to take this, and what we're going to do is we are going to have it, it's basically going to look like this. So we are going to want to get this plate as close to this wheel as possible. And to do that, it might be easier to slide. It started out with this up here, and we can't move that. So we're going to take this plastic piece, slide this down, and then we're going to be able to do it's going to get pretty close. And then we got to rotate this in, and we should be able to slide this guy in there. So feed this part in first. And there it is, there it is. Okay. So now that that's in place, we can go ahead and take our other bracket and get that installed as well. So this is going to be a little tricky we're gonna have to get this plastic piece in this slot right here. So it's gonna take a little bit of maneuvering, especially with how this bed is set up. It's kind of difficult, to be honest, but if you shimmy it enough, I think we might be able to get it done. Okay, yeah, so put it down through this little hole here as you kind of lift up, and that should give you enough leverage to get it into that last little section. So now that we have our bracket in place, we can take the appropriate screws and bolt it back in. So now for our camera, we're going to take out this little plate here. You can see there's two little tabs. So we're going to go in and push those in with a little flat screwdriver, and then we can go ahead and take our camera and get her put back into place. So now we're going to take these rods and put them back into place. Put that in the red one and fold that tab over. And I do need to reconnect this black one over here as I undid that before. Snap that back into place and then do the same for the green one. So everything does look good on the outside, so let's just go ahead and see if the locking cylinder works. I know it does lock, so let's see if it unlocks. With our factory key, turn it a little bit to our left. Perfect. Now we can go ahead and wire it up. Now what we're going to do is we are going to run our wires to power our locking tailgate. So these two will eventually connect, but we have to get all this wire through our tailgate and into underneath our bed. So what I'm going to do is actually going to follow the wires that feed our backup camera. So there is a plastic piece here I'm going to take out, and these as well. On top of that, there's another one that goes underneath our bed. I'm going to take those out and drill a little hole to make room for our connections. So let's just get to it. So I'm using a little trim panel tool, and we do carry these at it.So. Definitely makes for easy work. And I'm going to take these loose as well, just so we have a little bit more slack to play with. So to get this panel out, I'm actually underneath the truck, and it's actually a lot easier. You can just hold that tab and it pushes right out. So the way I'm going to go about this is I'm actually just going to connect these right now. And we're not going to have power to it, so you don't have to worry about messing anything up. I just want to make sure when I run these wires, I don't pull too much. So what I ended up doing is taking these two wires that are eventually going to be plugged into our power lock here, and I ran it up through underneath the bed. And so what I'm going to do here is make sure I get it at the right orientation. So it's going to go in there like that. I'm going to fish these through just so I can get that wire through this piece. Once we get that like so, we can split this thing back open, grab this guy, and then clamp it on top of it. Now with that into place, we can just go ahead and actually replace and put this plastic boot back where it went. So now we're going to do that same exact thing for our other plastic clip. Get that through there. So now with that fed through like so, we can undo this, pull a little slack through. You can kind of see where this was clamped on before, so I'm going to try to go to that same exact spot. Clip that in. We are going to have to feed this wire through before we replace that plastic piece. As it's going, you can tug on those wires to help it find its home. Once we get that, we can go ahead and clip this in. Now that we have all those fed through, we can actually go ahead and run this up to our connection point Find a good spot for it so it's not going to interfere with our rods or anything, and then just connect them. What I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to connect these and then go through and clean it all up. I want to make sure whoever's Tacoma this is, it's going to look real nice and clean. So you can go ahead and connect it color to color. And as we tie this into our wiring up front, these might change, but we will just keep it color to color for now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this in, I'm going to run all these wires. And what we're going to do is actually run it to the driver's side. So we're in this wire just snug up to the body harness, and it goes all the way up along that frame. And where that wiring harness enters the cab, I actually took this boot out, just made a little slit and slid this in there. So now we need to go up top and peel back the carpet to find it. So we're going to start by just getting this trim panel up, kind of working your way through it. These clips should come up pretty easily. Right underneath here is where all that excess wire is. Go ahead and get that out. So I went ahead and lifted up this little carpet, and that's where that grommet comes in. So this is where all my wire was sitting. I pulled all that through, and then I had to find my wires. And as you can see, we have a blue-black and a blue-red. So that is what we're going to tie into. We're going to make the connection around here, but I'm going to give myself a little bit more room just in case. I'm going to trim these up a little bit and then fish out the wires. So now we're going to splice into these wires. I'm going to start with the blue-black, and these do come included with the kit, which is very nice. It makes easy work. You don't have to cut your factory wiring at all. You slide that into the farthest hole, as you can see, like that, and then take one of our wires and fish that through. Once you get it in place, go ahead and smash that metal piece down. And what that does, it just bridges those two wires together. Same thing with this one. Slide it in. And it actually doesn't matter which wire you use, because one's gonna ultimately be lock and the other unlock. So if we did get it backwards, we could always just switch the connection back at our tailgate lock. And then smash her down. So now that we got everything hooked up, let's just see if it works. So as of right now, it's unlocked. Lock it. All right, so everything works, so let's just go ahead and make everything pretty again and put it back together. We went ahead and put everything back together, and it all works perfectly well. But thanks for watching and taking a look at the pop and lock tailgate lock on our 2010 Toyota Tacoma.